Okay, we're in round one. This is kind of a bit of a sketchy hand, but I gotta be honest, I'm still thinking I'm gonna keep it. My main reasons for keeping it are, well, I guess if I get flooded, I can eventually play these if I don't die. Student holds back some early aggressive dudes fairly well, and I've got both my colors, so and we're on the draw. So all those reasons combine to make this a lower threshold keep. Not a very good keep, but we'll keep it nonetheless. Hmm. Opponent seems to have a pretty spicy deck. Well, I will say a Bettling Saddle Brute is a pretty phenomenal draw. No plays yet. Interesting. All right. Let's get in for one and pass. Now, the question is, if he plays something that can kill my student, do I blindly attack in? And I think the answer is actually yes. I don't want to pay 4 life or lose 4 life. Well, he didn't play anything, which is interesting. Wonder if it's into hostilities I need to play around. Well, I'm not going to, as per usual. Now he kills them both. It just makes my shambling attendants 2 cheaper, right? And by the way, in this instance, I don't think anybody should play around in hostilities because, like, my Jeskai student is not very efficiently beating him down. So I did need to put an actual threat out there to at least incentivize him to use end hostilities. I could just, what, sit back on a Jeskai student until he plays a creature? I don't really like that. Alright, so he plays a Wetland Sandbar. I suspect he has like a kill shot or something, but that's okay. We'll allow it. Interesting. Alright. Well, I don't need to play anything. And now if he wipes the board, I get to play a Shambling Attendants, which isn't bad. Good old 3/5 Death Touch. Whirlwind Adept. Alright. Well. Do I continue to blindly attack in with Jeskai's student? I feel like I do. Now, he can block our student and kill it, but I feel like it's a risky move. Alright, I was going to say, yes, we totally just, psyched him out because there was nothing I could do. But I do kind of want to keep that illusion of student being able to get in. And on top of that, I kind of like the idea that even if it dies, even if he called my bluff there, I could still, make my dead drop or shambling attendants cheaper. It's kind of funny that I've played like a land every turn and I'm still some mana away from dead drop and shambling attendants. All right, I think we gotta, yeah, we definitely gotta injure this little fella so we can continue to bash in. No blocks. All right, well, let's play a Kieran and pass the turn. So now if he ends hostilities, we still get shambling attendants and we have good removal to boot. opponent's deck is pretty unusual. We've seen a lot of colors in the mana where only a few kind of mediocre cards. Well, I guess Typhoid Rats is a good card, but Wetland Sandbar and even, I guess Whirlwind Adept is not necessarily mediocre, but it's certainly not great. See if he's got like Crippling Chill or something. Rally the Ancestors. That's interesting. I don't think I've seen that one before. In terms of actually being played. So I think I'm going to... I feel like I want to Douse and Gloom the Typhoid Rats before blocks. I think I'm going to do that. So that way he's kind of like forced to trade with my Saddle Brute. With his Adept. Otherwise he'd be able to just block my Saddle Brute with his Typhoid Rats. So I'd much rather, yeah, I'd much rather make him make a trade here. And he's basically has to, yeah. So he gets a card out of my hand, saves himself a couple points of damage, still ends up making a trade. I can't play anything, but we're still in a pretty good spot here. No plays. 6 cards in hand and not a card to play. That is pretty remarkable. I could have just played Dead Drop for lethal, I guess, but I suspect he has something. It blows my mind that he would have 6 cards in hand and nothing to play. He must have something here. And he concedes? What is going on? That was just weird. I saw 3 spells out of my opponent. He had a grip full of cards. He's playing Typhoid Rats, Whirlwind Adept, Wetland Sandbar, Rally the Ancestors? Something's going on. That guy's deck is suspicious. Very suspicious. I guess we don't have much of a sideboard, do we? Dutiful Return for the heavy removal matchups. Sibzig Host is an actual card I could have played in this deck. I pretty much overlooked it because I think it's pretty bad, but it does, in fact, make my most expensive cards 3 cheaper. But I don't think that's necessary, and I don't think I don't know what to think about my opponent's deck, so I guess now I have to be conscious of Rally the Ancestors. One lander's not really doing it for me. I think we try again. All right, sand seems fine. Certainly not amazing, but all right. Typhoid Rats, you got it. I might trade it. I'd probably trade a student for a Typhoid Rats. I feel like it makes my stuff cheaper, and he probably just sacks it to a dead drop anyway. Maybe I bust the Valorous Stance to save my student, but I guess we didn't see any creatures that could have killed with Valorous Stance, so maybe that's not the worst idea. It's not attacking. I'm a little more willing to just make this trade here, I think. I think I'm just going to make the trade. I could have used Valorous Stance, but I guess the reason I'm not is I don't really care about a 1-3 with prowess, I don't think. He's just a 1-3. Getting a Rats off the board seems good. I mean, granted, my opponent can rally the ancestors at some point, but... Alright, there's that Whirlwind Adept I can't deal with, so... Do have to come up with a good solution for that. Well, I guess I could, if he doesn't play anything this turn, I could, that's pretty weird. I could Valorous Stance. I can't even Valorous Stance anything. I was going to say make it indestructible, but the Hexproof is really costing me quite a bit. All right, actually, I can respond to that +1/+1 counter, so that's kind of nice. So now we'll just Douse and Gloom this thing. That way we've got Shambling Attendants next turn. Although that card works pretty well with Rally the Ancestors, if he gets enough mana to use it. It's pretty good, actually. All right, you got us. So, play Attendants. Guess I could have waited for 2 more mana, but that would have taken too much damage, I think. All right, it's pretty harsh. Certainly can't do anything about it, and I'm not going to be able to replay it, so pretty harsh Jeskai Charm there, actually. We could very easily lose this game, surprisingly. I can't even cast Valorous Stance on anything. All right, that's really not the draw I wanted to see. Yeah, that's pretty harsh. Guess I play it and keep up Valorous Stance. That's not. If he has any sort of bounce, I'm just dead. But wow, we did not draw so well this game. Guess I wouldn't mind if he tried to like Reach of Shadows it. No, he does have the bounce. Wow, we just we just lost in a pretty disgraceful way. I feel like I didn't do anything this entire game, and I feel like our opponent's deck is pretty vastly inferior to ours too. So it's quite the embarrassing loss, honestly. So I guess I gotta hope we draw a little bit better in game 3. Jeez, that was pretty rotten. That was like the worst drawing sequence I could have asked for. Shambling Attendants into Jeskai Charm into I can't play my redraw into a card that punishes me for having nothing on the board. That was way harsh. All right. Super harsh loss there, and we would have lost anyway, even if I hadn't played the Saddle Brute. I wouldn't have been able to play anything until the next turn, in which case then I would have been able to play Shambling Attendants, which would have gotten bounced after I took 4 damage. So unbelievably, we were going to lose that any way you slice it. That's pretty sad, actually. So let's hope we can do a little bit better and not take 20 damage to 1 card, because that is an embarrassing way to go down. So hoping we do a little bit better in game 3 here. Yeah, I guess this hand's okay. We don't do anything early, which is a problem, but it seems like an okay hand. We will potentially be able to do that. Abzan Rune Mark on the Salt Road Patrol for all the values. Guess I need a black permanent to be able to do that, but you get what I'm trying to say. I do think we're going to open with the Kirin. Okay, Wetland Sandbar. You got it. Warbeam's a good draw. Unfortunately, Abzan Rune Mark's pretty bad in this matchup if he has Jeskai Charm and Force Away. So that's a problem. No attacks. Alright. Well, we can't do much else, so we'll play the flyer and then we'll pass. I don't want to swing my behemoth into his sandbar. I'd rather get a 3/6. Especially since I just got done being beaten by a whirlwind adept in embarrassing fashion. How much did I take? I believe I took 17 points of damage from one. That is pretty crazy from one whirlwind adept. That's probably one of the harshest beatdowns I've had in the history of that. Actually, I don't mind because he didn't progress the board at all this turn, so it doesn't really bother me. And now he suddenly decides to completely change his game plan, I guess. All right. But what was I saying? Oh yeah, that's probably the harshest beatdown I've had in the history of Khans of Tarkir, mostly because it was from one creature that's already like pretty niche in where it's good. You know what I mean? I wouldn't say Whirlwind Adept's like a terrible card because it's not, but it's pretty niche. Arrow Storm on the Kirin. All right. You got it. Now there's no attacks, interestingly. Can't get the 5th land, depressingly. So, I guess we just play Assault Road Patrol and pass. I don't want to attack into a wetland sandbar and not be able to unmorph my dude. Still do need a black mana as well to eventually play our other spells. No follow-up play. My mind is just blown right now. I guess we just get in. All right, see if he's got the bounce. Guess he doesn't, so lost sandbar for nothing. So you have the board wipe now? If it's not a board wipe, I hope it's at least something I can kill with Valorous Stance or Douse and Gloom or Harsh Sustenance. Typhoid Rats, all right. I can handle that one. All right, let's douse that little bad boy. And so I could Outlast here. I'm trying to think if that's cost productive. It probably is. I feel like a 3/6, double 3/6 is pretty good. I mean, now it's like at least out of prowess range of Whirlwind Adept, the bane of my existence. All right, well, maybe go for the Rune Mark plus the Outlast here. I kind of want to, I want to live that dream. I guess the problem with playing the Rune Mark is if he's got the Force Away. Ah, screw it. Let's just do it. If he's got Force Away, so be it. I want to live the dream. Oh, wait. I don't even have... that's kind of funny. I don't even have Black Permanent yet. All right. Well, it worked out anyway, so... Playing Abzan Rune Mark is a giant strength. A more expensive giant strength. Well, I'm still 2 mana from casting Dead Drop, which looks like it might be an actual difficult card to play in this deck after all. Oh my god. He forgot to attack first. All right. Well, we beat our opponent. I'm disappointed I gave up a game to it from one card. That doesn't bode well for future matches. I think this guy was relatively new. He had a pretty lackluster deck, and I think the telltale sign is always the I've been there. I've done the trumpet blast before doing attacking. It's always embarrassing. But yeah, deck didn't smoke my opponent as well as one might have thought I should have smoked my opponent. So hopefully that is not a sign of the rounds to come. I'll see you in round 2.